exclusive mix from DJ Dun Dun.
Around, baby. Good morning, Tina. How are you doing today, Tina? Hello, Nina. Hello. Great to hear. I am great to hear. You know what? I am good. I am good. A little tired. Somebody had reached out to me and asked me how come I didn't offer anything on the Risa Tisa situation. So I did a video on it to have that conversation a little bit. I tend to listen when people ask or make requests to try to help out. So I had to think about it and said, okay. So again, I have to figure out how I can figure out how I'm going to help people with what I say. I'm just not posting stuff to be posting it. But all is well. I cannot complain. I'm actually good. I'm still raising money for my daughter to go to nationals. Look at this. Oh. Okay, that'll work. I forgot. I have my other chair here. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. About that. There we go. Here. There we go. I sent her. Okay, yeah. That's fine. Cool. Sorry about that. I pulled my cord down. I forgot I changed my chair, and it was hooked on the side of my chair. Yeah, I'm here. Actually, I just had someone reach out to me who's like, well, my friend saw you. No, it wasn't your friend, but it was somebody else. And she's like, well, I'm not sure about counseling. And I said, why is that? And she said, well, I just don't know how comfortable I feel sitting and telling some stranger my business. I said, I understand. I said, do you trust your friend? She said, yeah. I said, how long have you and her been friends? She said, that's my girl. That's my day one. We've been friends for 20, 28, 29 years. I said, okay. You reached out to Risa T? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, she got a lot going on. I pray that she's getting the professional help that she needs. And I also pray that she's protecting her peace of mind, because with newfound attention and newfound finances, things change and you have to be prepared for it. And a lot of people start wanting things from you, and it can be hard to try to figure it out. And I'm hoping that she is able to get all that she wants out of it, but we have to be careful, because with newfound popularity and newfound income, as they say, new levels, new devils. And I'm hoping that she is armed mentally, physically, and hey, in any other way, with what is going to be put on the table. So, and I wish her all the best. But I've been around a lot of folks who have gotten money real quick, and it can change things faster than you can actually change the way that you think. So you wind up going into new circles with a limited way of thinking because you've never experienced it before. And sometimes those experiences can be worse than what you just came through. So again, I wish her well. And I realize that I have to continue to do what I do to help as many people as I can help from my spot. And that's what it is, so. But definitely. So again, if you're just getting here as you are listening to Tina and I have this conversation, introduce yourself. Don't hang out in the shadows. Come on to the front and say hi. If this is your first time here, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, counselor, educational consultant, former educator, husband, father, author. I do it all. And every Friday at the clinic, White Witch Pro tells me that they are the master race. They represent at the clinic. White Witch Pro what? And they are the master race. They represent you. I don't know where that came from or what that's connected to, but okay. If anybody wants to say they represent me, I'm a child of God, so that's who I'm represented by. But they're entitled to how they feel. It doesn't move me. Those are just cute words. But again, if anybody that's here for the first time, come say hello. Let me know where you're checking in from in the country. You're not even waiting to hear it. I was just looking down. I was about to go there myself because I'm like, I don't know where that came from. So hey Judy, as you have just found out, if you come in on some foolishness, if it don't make no sense, Tina's faster with the block than I am. Good morning. Oh, 2 people from Houston. Pleasure. One thing you got to realize here, this is a safe space, and what I mean by safe space is this open for you to come and say what you say. But if you're coming in on some foolishness or you're coming in on some stuff that make no sense, I will give you a chance to correct it or whatever. Hey, shout out from Birmingham. But we're not here for the mess. This is an intellectually safe space. And we are here with the idea of trying to uplift each other. My job is to teach, entertain, and inform. So today we're talking about 10 ways to reclaim your happiness. And we're going to get into that in a second. But again, this space here is designed for you guys in the chat. I do not open up the box, so there will not be no back and forth. Will not be a whole lot of... Every now and then, if somebody has an emergency or something, I will open up the box to have a question, because my goal is to serve you, is to offer something that when this live is over, you can take back to your circles and have a conversation. And the reason why I chose reclaiming your happiness in my counseling sessions, I ask everybody that I work with, what would it take to make you happy? What I've noticed in the last year or so, a lot of people struggle with that question. A lot of people struggle with knowing what would make them happy. And it seems like something relatively simple, but because I know many of us are not living the lives that we want at the moment, or we're in the process of gaining those lives, that happiness is not at the forefront. I want to change that. I want us to at least be on the pathway to happiness. And if you've read anything that I've created recently, you hear me say, healing requires a pathway. It's in my new book. This is one of my books right here. 12 Steps to Recovering from a Toxic Relationship. And as you see, healing requires a pathway. And it does. We have to be able to figure out what is it that we want. We have to create the pathway to happiness. We have to create the pathway to recovery. So one of the things that I do over here is to try to help everybody that I can figure out what that pathway is for themselves. So I am here to offer. So before I get into what I'm doing, you guys in the chat, come on, introduce yourself. Tell me how your week was. Let's catch up. It's been a week since the last time I was on. I only come on Fridays from 11:30 to 1:30. I'm going to start keeping to the time too. I've been going a little longer, but I don't mind. But I have to be mindful of the time. Also, I have a counseling session today as well. So, you guys let me know how your week has been going. Self-awareness week. Okay, Tina, I feel you. And Tina, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for entertaining and coming through on Sunday. Appreciate you. But great to hear. And did you come away with anything? Did anything jump out at you this week, Tina? Nina said it was a good week. What made it good, Nina? What made it good? And what did you come aware of, Tina, this week? And also, you guys know I have been raising money for my wonderful daughter, who I love tremendously. We're taking her to nationals in Michigan. We're in Delaware. So we got to be there for 10 days. So the GoFundMe link is in my bio. I have no problem asking for assistance for my little one. I may not ask for assistance for myself, but I will always ask for assistance with her. She has been putting in the work. She's an honor roll student. She's learned in Mandarin Chinese. She's in the 4th grade. She has been doing her thing. And I'm trying to raise money because we're going to need to be in Michigan for 10 days. But this is an experience I want her to experience because she put the work in. And I believe when children do the work the best we can, within reason now, that we provide the outcomes of those experiences. I thank you. And yes, just to find what makes me happy. Okay. I love it. Loving me and loving on me more and more. Putting me first and saying no to family. Sometimes we have to do that, Nina. Always remember, Nina, and Tina, yes, I'm with you. Nina, remember, we have to have in position what works for us to be able to do for others. We can service others. I do it every day. But we have to we can't serve from an empty cup because then there's nothing left. And after a while, you burn yourself out like that. Now, are there times that we have to serve and the cup is kind of empty? Yes. Situations may require that. But that's not that should not be the default position. That every day we're doing for others and not doing for ourselves. And not doing for ourselves in a selfish way, but making sure we're good, getting the rest, eating right, reading, doing the things that we need to do, but also making the moves that's going to make us happy. Going to places that we're going to do to make us happy. And thank you for the hearts. I'm going to get to that in a second. But that's very important. And the number of people who neglect themselves, the number of women that I speak to in my sessions who neglect themselves, the brothers, when I talk to, they go, I just can't worry about that. You have to worry about you. Don't tell me that you can't worry about you. And as parents, we have to worry about ourselves because if something happens to us, who takes care of our children? Those of us that are married, if something happens to us, now our spouse is without us. And many are not, because recently I have a handful now, and it's growing, of people who are without their spouses who they lived out their agreement of marriage and now they have to start over. All that requires a self-reflection, an internal self-reflection. And I'm here for it. It feels so good to live my life. Yes. And you know what the funny thing is? You'll be better towards other people when coming from a position of happiness within yourself, Nina. So congrats to you. Because I talk about this in the movie The Color Purple, right? Suge Avery is having her moment in the church. Her and her father reconnecting, coming full circle with all that pain that I guess he had and she had. Fine. If you remember that scene, Miss Celia is sitting there like this. And the reason why is because she's empty. Here she has her own house, her own business. Thank you so much for the roses. Appreciate that. She has her own house, her own business. She has everything except she's empty. Question for you, but I do not know if it's along the same. Oh, come on. I'm here. I haven't got into today's discussion. We're just talking. Come on, go right ahead. I'm going to get into today's discussion in a little bit. I'm going to start in a little bit. Come on, ask your question. Greetings. Hey, miss. Trying to live the best life. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what we hear about. We're going to talk about reclaiming your happiness. We're going to get into it in a second. Miss Nina has a question for me, so I'm going to answer her question, and we're going to get into this. And again, if you're here, welcome. If this is your first time, tell me where you're checking in from. Always like to know. I'm going to get into the rules of the room and the layout for today's session as usual in a second. Just greeting. Tell me how your week is going by the Lady P, Miss Congeniality. Tell me how your week has been going before we get into today's conversation. First time from Texas? Let's go. Like the third person from Texas. Okay. I got to get to Texas. I have some friends in Texas I need to go see. So I have not been to the state of Texas, but I do have some friends. So I just actually spoke to a young lady. She's actually writing a letter for my daughter. And I told her my daughter loves mail. You know, speaking of my daughter, and yes, I'm going to talk about my daughter. So first time Missouri. Let's go. Shout out to Missouri. I was talking to my mentor program because I have an after school mentor program, and the kids in the program didn't believe that my daughter doesn't have a cell phone or have any social media footprint. And he's like, "You don't let her on social media?" I said, "No, I do not." When you talked about Cat Williams telling his truth and it may affect others as not good, he DS1 tell their truth. Okay, wait a minute. I'm lost. Let me see. When you talked about Cat Williams telling his truth and it may affect others as not good, this one tell that. Okay. How does one tell their truth? Just be honest about whatever it is you're speaking about. When I talk about my truth, you hear me say often, I was a whore for 37 years. That's the truth. But the last 19, I've been a man of God and a loving husband. I even wrote a book about it, From Gigolo to Jesus. To be honest with yourself, you tell your truth. I even put it in a book. I put it in a book so nobody can say to me, can write the narrative of my story. I put it in a book. And when I'm helping people, I am very transparent because I tell my truth. And you just have to be honest. And I don't worry about how people will take my truth. If they don't like me because of it, cool. If they don't like the number of children I had when I was out whoring, if they don't like the number of abortions, miscarriages, all that. Hey, Shana, I'm glad. Hey, Shana, I'm glad you're here as well. You got to understand your truth frees you from the pains of holding it in. The stress that some people go through because they cannot discuss what their lives have been. And I'm telling you as a professional counselor, the relief that some people have when they can feel comfortable enough to share what they have been through with me and not be judged for it is just fantastic. And I'm here for it. I am an advocate because I'm a person-centered counselor. Now, what that means is that my focus of my counseling is on you as the person, centered on how do we help you get out of your own way. So with Cat having his platform, his words may have caused the movement of others open up in a bad way. Yes, it can. But that is why we have to be very mindful of what we take in. But that's not Cat's fault. Cat speaking his truth. There's always, look, you see it right now, right? Let's talk about Risa Tisa. Risa Tisa decided to do 10-part story. It paid off. You're now going to see people hate her for it for no reason, love her for it because we don't even know if it's the truth. People are going to react to what you put out, but that's not on you. If she says this is what happened to her, cool. How people react to it or something going viral is not on the person who put it out there. You put it out there because you have a reason of why you want to do it. I think the question is deeper than what I can text. Okay. You want to come up here and have a conversation with me real quick before I get into my 10 things on reclaiming habit? If you want to explain it to me directly, does that make it easier? And keep tapping the screen, guys. We're going to get to the hearts in a second. We have a goal of 20,000 plus hearts every time I come on. I'm only on once a week. So one of the things I want you to do as I am performing, entertaining, and educating, please just tap the screen as you take your notes. And I am here for it. Again, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist. You don't have we got to get you up. We got to get those followers up, Nina. Okay, we got to work on that. Everybody that's here, we got 13 people. We're going to get like 13 followers. Everybody go follow Nina. Let's go. Everybody go follow Nina. There we go. Everybody go follow Nina so we can get Nina's numbers up. There we go. So always remember, guys, and I was this way when I was in the classroom. Some teachers did not like how I taught. Some teachers didn't like the fact that I had music on. It was never loud enough to bother anybody else. Because the kids would go into their room and say, how come you don't play music? Or how come you don't tell jokes? Or how come you're no fun? I don't like you. And other teachers would get mad at me and say, you need to stop that. I've even had principals tell me you need to do something different because it's interrupting the educational process. And I would always challenge how. I'm doing what I do as an effective educator, and you're mad because other teachers can't recreate that or feel that they can't keep up with that. That's on them. And if you want to let me go, fine, I'll go to another school. I'm transparent because I'm comfortable. I have no problem with sharing my story, my history of what I was and how I was before I came to know God again. And I don't care what anybody thinks about it. My truth is my truth. Was I a whore? Yes. Did I have multiple babies? Yes. Do I have baby mamas? Yes. I have all that. But in the last 21 years, I've been with one woman and had one child. So if you want to judge the previous, go right ahead. Go right ahead. And if anybody wants to tune me out and say, you just a nasty old whore, okay, go right ahead. I don't worry about what I can't control. And Nina, what you have to realize is you have to be okay with you, because here's what I do know to be true. Hold in negative feelings, you destroy yourself internally. That's why stress is called the silent killer. Your body will keep trying to regulate the stress until it cannot and just stops. It is called homeostasis. Homeostasis is the body's ability to get things back to a neutral position. So, and it's like the frog in the pot scenario. Put a frog in a pot. The frog will keep regulating its body to regulate the heat until it dies. But if you were to heat the pot up and throw the frog in, it jump right out. Oh no, that's too hot, I'm gone. But if you put the frog in the cold water and heat the pot up slowly, the frog will keep trying to adjust its body to the heat until it's dead. We're that same way. Homeostasis is the body's internal ability to try to even things out, to try to find a middle, a neutral point. Many of us will keep adding stress without relieving ourselves of stress, and the body keeps trying to adjust until we go to the doctor and our blood pressure is way up. And how do we know? That's why you had them headaches. That's why you feel pressure in your face. That's why you can't sleep. For some men, that's why they can't perform. For some women, that's why you have panic attacks and anxiety attacks and other things that just don't feel right, because it's connected to things that you're keeping plugged down inside you. Some turns out that you cannot perform romantically. You just can't seem to get relaxed. For some people, you cannot reach the point of orgasm. A lot of this is all connected to the things that you have suppressed inside you. When you are freed from that, when you have allowed yourself to relax, when you have allowed yourself to be comfortable with you, oh, it's a whole different ball game. You sleep better. And many of us, to try to deal with what we keep packing inside of us, we got Stella Rosa contracts. We done went through the Stella Rosa Black this week, the Stella Rosa Red the next week. We got the fruit and the peach on deck. And in a month, we done had a bottle of wine every day. But because it's wine and we don't get as knocked down drunk as we do when we drinking the Casamigos, we think it's okay. Or we search for things that make it okay. Well, they say, white wine or red wine is good for the heart. Yeah, a glass, not a whole bottle. It's cognitive dissonance, where we know things are wrong, but we try to fake like we know it's going to be okay. It's a problem. So then enter somebody like a Legion, whether it's male or female, who comes into your life and says that they can bring you peace, but your guard is down because you are stuck within your own emotions. And here they are tearing your life apart. And you still thinking it's you. My job is to help you through that. My job is to help you release yourself from that. Free yourself from the stuff you keep packing in there. And then refine your happiness, which is what we're talking about today. How to reclaim your happiness. So, as we get ready to prep the table, as they say, few rules. One, be respectful. If you're new here, cool. Be respectful. If you're disrespectful, Tina will get to you before I do. Every now and then I beat her to the block button and you're gone. Second, I want you to keep tapping the screen. Like I said, we have a goal of 20,000 likes or more. The likes send a signal to the algorithm to let other people know we're over here. They'll come and check us out. So keep tapping that screen. And the third thing is I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy the content. I am here to educate, inform, and entertain. If you have a question, go ahead and throw it in there. I will answer it. But let's try to stay within the subject matter. At the end, I will gladly answer any questions that you have. If you're interested in personal counseling, my links are in my bio. If you're interested in any of my books, if you're interested in any of my books, if you're interested in any of my books, and this is just a few of them, the link is in my bio. All of my professional information is in my bio. So I come with real receipts. I am a real author. I am a real counselor. I do this for a living. And I've been featured a few places as well. Here's one. I've showed you this before. I think y'all have seen this magazine before, right? Yeah. I've been in there too. I come to the table with receipts. I show it because, you never know who might be new. And if an international magazine could have their Black Love issue, hold on, where's it at? There we go. If they can have a whole issue on Black Love, there we go. If they can connect the Black Love lessons, if they can actually give you lessons on Black love, and then in this international magazine teaching lessons on Black love, decide that this guy and his wife, who's that, actually has something to offer. Yeah, that's me. So I come to the table with receipts. I do this for real. So I don't chase attention. I simply try to provide quality information. And is it the type, are you going to see me tap dancing and yelling and screaming and whatever's trendy? No. So it may not be as exciting as other spaces, but you will learn something if you hang out with me. So with that said, I want to ask you guys in the chat, let's get ready to get started. First, y'all better tap that screen. I don't see no heartbeat to the room here. What's going on here? Let's get this started. How come y'all not tapping the screen? Y'all better stop playing. Let's go. All right, we got a list of 10 today, not 15. I'm not going that long today. They're still not tapping the screen. Really? I got to give homework today? This is what we doing? All right, in the chat, y'all tell me how many of you are happy right now? Really happy with themselves. I mean, right now, you like, Keith, I'm good. There's nothing I really want. I'm getting the things out of life that I really want. If you're happy in the chat, put I'm happy in the chat. And if you're not, put I'm not. Let's go. Let me see who's happy. Who's happy? Put it in the chat. Come on. Chocolate says she's happy. And how do you know that you're happy, Chocolate? What is it that right now is making you the happiest? Let me ask that question. Better question. Almost there. I like that, Tina. At least you're on the road. At least you're on the road. That's what I'm talking about. I'm very happy right now. Are there some things that I'd like to add? Yes. But I am happy because when I think about where I've come from, I get ecstatic. And I had to be reminded that sometimes I would just have my head down, just grinding, and just that a friend of mine from Europe actually said to me, he said, Keith, how many times you get out the car and just take a deep breath and look around? And I was like, man, I just try to get work done. He was like, yeah, but you got to enjoy the path. You got to enjoy the journey. So, and I realized he was 100% right. And when I started doing that, I felt even better. And not in a vanity, not gloating. I don't gloat. Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate that. Not in a vanity way, but appreciation of what God has brought me to and through. And the optimism of what God still has in store for me. I'm alive. That's a big one. Recovering from oh, congratulations. I cotton top for, oh, wow. Okay. Congratulations, Chuck. That's what I'm talking about. That's something to be happy about. And blessings. Glad that you are here. Love that. And see, that's what I'm talking about, guys. See, sometimes we get so caught up in things that you see what was written there at the first. I'm alive. Let's go. Hey, let's give Chocolate some purple hearts, guys. Where's my guys in the chats? Come on. Let's give Chocolate some purple hearts because she did not have to share that with us. And that is one of the reasons why I love doing what I do. Let's give Chocolate some purple hearts as our way of saying, and we complaining why. Exactly. Let's give Chocolate some purple hearts. Thank you, Tina. Come on. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, let's put some purple hearts in the chat. That's our way of expressing. More importantly, I don't look like what I've been through. Come on now. Now you're talking. And that's super important, Chocolate. I'm glad you said that. Thank you, York. I see you. Thank you, Tina. That's important too, guys. My students never knew what I was going through when I was in the midst of my first marriage. And it wasn't for them to know. Also, they were expecting to get the Mr. Keith or Mr. B that they loved. It would not have been fair to them to come into the building to teach and bring my issues with me. So I would suppress them. But what I learned is that I became a better teacher when I let that stuff go. When I got out of my first marriage, man, listen. Only problem is I was a little too excited, too wild. I was so happy to be a free man that didn't have to go home at night. I wasn't coming home at night. I had to corral myself. And it was my mom who grabbed my coattail. And she said, let me get this right. You going to get out of your marriage and go out here and get some type of disease because you running these streets like this? Because I had left on a Friday and came back on a Sunday. So, super important. Okay, so let's get into today's conversation. All you guys do, get your notepads out, get your tablets out, whatever you're going to do to take some notes. And remember, the replay of this, just like all my shows, go over on my YouTube channel. So if you want to check, if you're new here and you want to check out any previous shows, they are over on my YouTube channel. And please subscribe, please like, subscribe, and share. You can do that in here too. Share this out to your pages. Let the people on your page know I am here. I can't reach the whole world by myself, but I can do more with your help. So let's do this together. All right, so buckle up. We're going to go through this. I'm going to interact with you as we go through the list. Today we are talking about 10 ways to reclaim your happiness with yourself, of course. And all I ask you to do is tap the screen. Let's get those hearts up. Right now, I don't see any hearts going up, so you guys got to bring that. And I will take care of all the information, okay? So if you guys are ready to go, and all right. Let me see. There we go. Okay. If you guys are ready to go, let's get some ones in the chat. Come on, there go the hearts. There go a couple that went up. Come on, let's tap that screen. Come on. I need y'all to get your energy up. Come on. Let's go. And follow Tina's lead. Let's put ones in the chat. Come on. Let's go. Let's get some one. Hey, Benny. Let's go. Good to have you here. Let's get some ones in the chat. Let me get 5. We're going to start off light. Let's get 5 ones in the chat. I got 2 from Benny and Tina. Come on. Put a number 1 in the chat to let me know you're ready for the list. 10 ways to reclaim your happiness with yourself. And Tina, I apologize. I did not send you a copy of the what's name today, so I know I'm creating more work for you. I apologize. All right, so here we go. So we're talking about, hey, Clary, how are you? Good to have you. Got you. Thank you, Tina. All right, so we're talking about 10 ways to reclaim your happiness. All right, so number 1 on the 10 ways to reclaim your happiness. Engage. Let me get my little list here. I'm glad you're here as well. Engage in reflective practices. Number 1 on the 10 ways to reclaiming your happiness is engage in reflective practices. And I will explain that in a second. Just pay attention. Tina will put the list up for you and make sure you're tapping the screen as we do this. Thank you, Clarity, for sharing. Regularly set aside time for self-reflection through journaling, meditation, or prayer. This can help you understand your feelings, identify what brings you joy and clarity to your personal goals. Engage in reflective practices. I pray daily. I talk to the Lord all the time. Sometimes I'm talking to him like I'm talking to y'all. I pray daily, or I try to. And I'm always in a state of reflection. I'm always in a state of just trying to replay things inside my head because I'm trying to figure out, how can I reach people? How can I help people? What is it that I'm trying to do and what are my personal goals? I'm always on top of that. And then sometimes I'm not happy when I wasted some time. That's why I try not to get caught up in the rabbit hole of social media. Thank you for tapping the screen. I appreciate the hearts. I see them going up. Because I hate when I've wasted time and I paid attention to too many videos, because sometimes we can get caught watching other people's lives. And I'm not saying lives like this. I'm talking about their lives. their existence, that we're not putting time into ourselves. So please manage your social media time online in comparison to how much time you are spending on yourself. So you guys in the chat, who does daily reflective practices? Meditation, journaling, prayer, or all three? Put it in the chat if you're one of those people who journal, pray, meditate daily. Got you, got you, got you, got you, got you. I see you, Tina. I see you, Benny. I see you, Lady P. And we need that. You know, I found that the older we get, the more we realize that we need to reflect, journal, and pray. I got you, Tina. I noticed that, especially because I cater to a 40 to 70-year-old market, I noticed that a lot of us old heads, we realize that we need prayer. And I noticed that a lot of older women are journaling. I don't see men journaling as much. I wish they would, because it can be very helpful. Journaling is very powerful because when you can go back and look at where you were in your own words, you really get to see God work, especially if you're a righteous person. Now, if you're not a believer in God, I'm not going to turn this into church. So even if you're not a believer in God, journaling still helps when you can look back and go, man, last year I was in such a bad place. Look at where I'm at now. That's a way to regain your happiness, guys, because you need to reflect on where we at, where we going, what are we doing right now? And I think that's what bothers me sometimes when I'm talking to folks is they literally don't have an idea. They don't have an idea. When I say, what makes you happy? I get a look like, I don't know. Well, please understand this, guys. The people in your life can't bring you happiness if you don't know. Happiness is an internal thing. Nobody can make you happy. You have to first know what makes you happy, and then they can assist you in your happiness. Because think about it. If your happiness was tied to what somebody brought to you, that means they can take your happiness away from you. We don't want to give that away. We are in control of happiness. We invite others to assist us in our happiness. They can add to it, but they're not the originator of it. It starts inside you. Y'all got that? All right. So again, anybody new, please let me know where you're checking in from. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, counselor, author, educator, and you are watching my show every Friday from 11:30 to about 1:30, depending on the conversation. You guys keep tapping that screen. So here we go. Hey, from New York. Okay, where at, Clary? I am from New York originally. Been here in Delaware the last 8 years, but originally from New York, South Jamaica, Queens, and did most of my time in Brooklyn. Wife is from Brooklyn, and I did most of my teaching, actually, bulk of my teaching in Brooklyn. Did a little stint up in Harlem. Upstate, where upstate? I have traveled upstate numerous times, as well as going to Canada through New York. I bowled in Syracuse and have been to all of the prisons upstate to visit friends and family from Watertown, Fisk Hill, Sing Sing. Yeah, I ain't gonna name. In Orange County, yes, I had a friend that lived in Orange County when he left transit and then went from Orange County. He's now living in Florida. Was at Rockland. He's in Orange County. Another one was in Rockland County. So, but glad to have you here. Good to have you. All right. So number 2, guys. Number 2 on the 10 ways of reclaiming your happiness. We got 11 people. Let's get 5 twos. Let's go halfway. Let's get 5 twos in the chat. Come on. And I can tell you that you're probably going to see me a little less going forward because I have made a commitment not to be on social media as much. I have some things that I'm building, and one of them is the private community that I'm going to shift us to at some point in the future, but it is tough. There's a lot to learn. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Tina. Let me get 3 more twos, guys, and we're going to go ahead to the list of number 2 in the 10 ways of reclaiming your happiness. Thank you, Lady P. I appreciate you. And Lady P, thank you for the support. Thank all of you for the support. No, I'm not disappointed. I'll still be posting and I'll still be here. I'm just not going to be on as much. And yeah, I'm trying to build the community. It's a lot because if I paid somebody to build it for me, then I got to be beholden to them because if they disappear, now I got nobody to handle my community. So I'm literally teaching myself the coding necessary to build my own community. So I'm building my own house, my own compound that I can shift from not being on social media as much to a place that I can control, where we can really get into some conversations. Because there's some things I would really like to listen to from you guys to really be able to offer my understanding. I was going to say, don't have me moved. Zoom will play a part of it, Lady P. Zoom will be one of the platforms that's connected to the community, but the community will have a chat. We'll have rooms that I can put materials in. They'll be labeled. And this way, we're going to have a full functioning place that when you log in, everything that's going to be needed, but it's going to be private. It won't be open to the public. It'll only be to people who have subscribed to be there. And the reason why is I want to create a space where not only are people safe, we can actually have conversations to really get to the crust of some really negative situations. And I don't need just random folks popping in that now, like, Tina has to play moderator when she might be able to sit back and offer or gain from other conversations. And that's my biggest thing, is the safety is the biggest thing, and the fact that it's going to be private, because I deal with a lot of sensitive subjects in my counseling sessions, and I want to be able to allow folks to share and not worry. And this way it's easier when I actually have all the information I need of everybody that's in. This one is not about numbers. This one is about the content. This is about the grounding, and we'll grow as other people want to come in and join us. That is my hope, and that is what I have put on the table that I'm going to work on. So number 2, and this is where I come in helping folks with with finding happiness. Seek professional guidance. Number 2, seek professional guidance. On the 10 ways to reclaim your happiness, number 2, seek professional guidance. I moved this one up this week because I realized that number 2 is needed more than I realized before. In the past, I would always have professional guidance more towards the end. After researching my information this week, I realized I got to move that up, because a lot of people need to speak to someone professionally to help get the trash out of the way so they can start to build on the things that will make them feel better. Hey, good morning. Hey, Keith, I love that name. Keith means beloved. Welcome back, Keith. But yeah, consult your professionals like me who offer, like I offer, crisis assistance, mental health, ministry, and counseling. Expertise can provide you with personalized strategies for overcoming past traumas and negative experiences. So dealing with somebody like me allows you to really get into things that may be blocking you from seeing your happiness. Because remember, happiness is a state of being. So we have to know where we're trying to move to get to the point of happiness. Hey, Empress, how are you? Greetings, greetings, greetings. But it is super important. Oh, that's Clay. Oh, there we go. Haven't seen. What's going on, Empress? I haven't seen a minute. What mountain we climbing today? I see you out there getting it in. I ain't mad at you. I'll be rooting for you. We got to work on some of them dance steps, though, because you from Cali. Dance steps should be a little better than that. I'll be seeing you out there. Yeah. I see you be out there skipping. I'm like, wait a minute. She acting like she's 14. I'm low-key hating because I can't skip with these bad knees. So yes, but congratulations on the work that you're doing. All right. So again, we're here talking about 10 ways to reclaim your happiness. And it is important because professional guidance, let me tell you something. And anyone here, let me ask you guys in the chat, how many of you have sought professional help to help make sense of some of the things you were going through? Put me in the chat if you have sought and had professional help in the last, we'll say, 3 years. How many of you have sought professional help? Put it in the chat. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Hey, Josh, welcome back. Put it in the chat. Disco love. I love it. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Empress. And it's very important because speaking to a professional like myself, right? Here's how you benefit speaking to me. I'm not emotionally connected to your situation. I'm emotionally connected to helping. Hey, Jessica, welcome. I'm emotionally connected with helping. I'm not emotionally connected to your situation, which allows me to climb deeper into what's going on with you and help clear the pathway for you. That's why I moved up, seek professional guidance on my list, because normally I drop it down near the bottom. But this time I wanted to move it up because I'm noticing that a lot of brothers and sisters will not get professional help. Some will even fight it. Even when their girlfriend or their partners go, yo, check this brother out, they won't come. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate it. And that's another reason why I don't trip on numbers, guys, because numbers do not tell the truth. We got a lot of people who have millions and millions of followers, right? No, we have people who have millions and millions of people that are connected on an app. They may not actually have people that follow them and actually have any interaction with them. Hey, Solomon. And that is a problem. I want to interact with the people I interact with. I don't stress the numbers because I have learned through my faith, my voice will find the soil that it needs to find to plant the seeds that needed to be planted. I don't worry about the rest. And I noticed my time on social media it's interesting because people, I think, stress the wrong things. But when you try to bring that up to them, they fight you. And it's okay. I don't mind the fight because I'm not going to engage you with it anyway. Help is always going to be difficult to the closed-minded. I've learned that a long time ago. And I'll say that again. Help is always going to be an issue for the closed-minded, especially those who don't believe they need help. Many of you have seen that with your grandparents or your parents, depending on how old you are. You have new information. You have something that you can help them with, and they will fight you on it. And then when you even give them proof that what you're offering is help, if it's not comfortable to them, they will fight you on it. Thank you for the hearts. Keep tapping the screen. I go through this with my church folks. I present what the Bible says, and they want to fight me. Just because their pastor didn't say it. Okay. Hey, Keith, I moved on and listening to your info, and I've been happy. Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate you. There you go. You're on the way to happiness. I love it. I'm glad I could be of service to you. And that's what's important, guys, is that we have to realize that professional guidance helps clear the pathway. I can't do the work for you. Let me just say that. I can't do the work for you. I can help clear the path for you or with you. You still got to do the work. And I'm here for that too. And I can hold you accountable. That's another thing that a professional can do is hold you accountable. Meaning if you and I sit down and you go, one of my goals is to write 1,000 words a day, 5 days of the 7. Okay, so that should be 5,000 words. We get in the next session every 2 weeks. That should be 10,000 words. How many words have you written? Not that many. That's not telling me anything. Could you show me how many words that you have? Now, your avoidance of my question signals to me we got to have a conversation. If you tell me 6, we need to have a conversation. If you tell me 12, we need to have a positive conversation. But professional guidance allows me. Thank you so much, Mo. I appreciate that. What are those? GGs. Okay. I like that. Appreciate that. Thank you. So that's what professional guidance does. Okay. All right, let's move on to number 3. And you guys keep tapping the screen. We got a goal of 20K likes. It's going to let TikTok know we're over here. Let's keep it going. And I'm glad for every one of you that's here. Keep tapping the screen. I will keep this teaching going. All right, so here we go. Number 3. Let me get we got 11 people here. Let's go with 7 threes right now. Come on. Let's get 7 people to put 3 in the box. Put 3 in the box. Let's go in the chat. Put the number 3 in the chat. There's 2. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Josh. Come on, 4 more. Let's go. See, I know when you start talking about happiness, people panic when it comes to happiness. I didn't realize how many unhappy people we have. We got a lot of unhappy people in the world. I'm like, wow. Okay. All right, we'll just go with the 3. Gotcha. Can't get the other 7. Let's go. Number 3. Now, this one is not for everybody, but I added it anyway. And if you are a person that's not of a spiritual positioning, may not mean anything to you, but I'll give it to you anyway. Number 3, leverage faith-based healing. Number 3, leverage faith-based healing. Go get them, Mo. Keep recording them. Don't get locked up, though. Be careful. Keep recording them. Like, oh, yeah, you gonna say that to me? You said you close at 5. Just help those 2 people. I be paying attention, Mo. Go get them. Pray and support. Keep it going. All right. Leverage faith-based healing. Thank you, Tina. For those who are spiritual or religious, incorporate your faith into your healing process can provide comfort and guidance. Practice such as prayer, meditation on scripture, and participating in faith communities can strengthen your resilience and hope. And your faith can open the door to happiness because your faith can grant you peace. Now, let's say you're not of a spiritual positioning. Well, you're not out of it. What you could do is you again have to look internally and again set up a routine of ways to be able to speak to yourself calmly. But for faith-based folks, your faith can actually present you with an opportunity to connect with other people of the same positioning, which can offer a pathway to happiness because like-minded folks can sit down and exchange. And in some of your networking circles for the non-spiritual folks, try to find circles that work for you. And we're going to talk about that too, because that's actually connected to one of the other ones I'm about to go in. How many of you right now use your faith as a positioning for peace of mind? Be honest with me. Come on. How many use the faith, or how many of you are being stressed by your faith positioning? Because the religious aspect of faith can be very stressful for some. And remember, faith can have 2 components: the understanding of the faith itself and the spiritual positioning of others. You got to be careful. Like, I have a great relationship and connection to my spiritual word, my Bible. I tend to sometimes get into situations with some church folks who may not like my particular practice. And it's nothing crazy. But I do have some folks say I play with God too much, whatever that means. I'm never disrespectful to the Lord. But I've had some old saints say, you play too much. I know. I do. God gave me the humor. Blame him. See, that's what I'm talking about. You better stop using the Lord's name in vain. I said, how am I using the Lord's name in vain when I'm giving him credit for what he has given me? And understand that I am a real Christian counselor. So, yes, I've read the Bible a few times over. There's no reason that I have to push the Bible onto anyone. But unfortunately, some of our older brothers and sisters and some of our younger ones have decided that the only way the faith is going to work is if we jam it down the throats of other people who say they don't understand it, like it, or even want to hear it. I don't remember reading that as the way to deliver the word, but that's me. But for me, my faith grants me peace, grants me balance, grants me understanding, grants me knowledge. And I use it to keep myself forward thinking. I am a person that believes in God. I'm a person that is a Christian. I have no problem with anybody who doesn't believe in God. I have no problem anybody who thinks I'm a fool for being a Christian. I have no problem with people who say that's the white man's religion. I don't care what you think about my positioning with me. And I will say, cool. I find that older saints are more sensitive, or their beliefs, meanings, understanding different from mine. Older and younger. Because all of a sudden now we've had a lot of young, entitled saints who believe that they've mastered the scriptures as well and don't want to hear from older saints. So there's problems on both ends of the spiritual spectrum. What I have found is that your faith or your walk is an individual one. Church was a great place for fellowship, but your actual walk is your daily interaction with the Lord that you call thy God. And take that in any way that you choose to take it. Because too many saints, young and old, are reacting to what they've been taught, not what they have read. And often what they have been taught doesn't align with what they have read. So they believe that they're doing the right thing because other saints said they are. Thank you, Perta. Appreciate that. And we have to understand is that your faith should bring you peace, not stress. Now, the stress that may come from not trying to honor the faith, that's a little different. And if you find that you're struggling with trying to walk that pathway, well, we need to have a conversation because, again, fellowship is needed. Fellowship is required. I don't turn away saints. I don't turn away sinners. I'm a sinner. And the faith helps me bring me back into the fold when I sin. I just find that people claim the faith as if it's theirs. And they love telling other people how wrong they are. That doesn't present happiness. And we've lost too many folks to church hurt. And then they blame God for the actions of man. Doesn't work for me. So number 3, leverage your faith-based healing. You should have an intimate connection to your faith, which can help restore or to help you find the happiness that you're looking for. Your faith should play a role in that. And again, I'm not attacking anyone's faith. As you just heard me say, yes, I'm a Christian. That doesn't mean I ignore the other faiths. And I respect anybody who is committed to their faith. Believe it or not, on my left arm, I have a tattoo of an X. And that X is my tribute to Malcolm X, because when I was younger, reading his book helped change my life. But am I a Christian? Yes. Do I respect the Muslim faith? Yes. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can do multiple things. But unfortunately, many of our brothers and sisters have decided to take a stance of abuse when it comes to faith, and that doesn't create happiness. And that's not what we're talking about today. All right. So again, I want to thank everyone that's here. Appreciate you. We are talking about the 10 ways to reclaiming your happiness. All right. Good afternoon, Miss New York. How are you? I got to get back home. I haven't been back to New York. Well, no, I was there a few months ago when I went up to see my son. But every time I go back home, after like a day or two, I'm ready to come back. I have so lost it for the noise in the city. All right. So here we go. We're moving on to number 4, guys. You guys ready? All right. Let me ask you a question. No, let me back up a second. How many of you, good thing not missing. I'm good, not missing. I got you. Hold on one second, Tina, before I go to number 4. I want to ask you guys in the chat. Has anybody in your faith travels caused you to want to give up the faith because of their actions? Just put me in the chat. I don't want to know what they did. I just want to know, any of you in the chat, anybody in your faith circles, your spiritual circles, acted in such a way that it caused you to want to leave the faith alone? Put me in the chat. Where are you in New York, Miss New York? While y'all are answering the question, put me in the chat if anybody in your spiritual circles got you to the point that you was ready just to leave the faith alone, just to leave it alone. Lady P said me. Oh, Brooklyn, that's where my wife and I are from. Me from Canarsie, my wife from Bed-Stuy. And I taught in Canarsie and I taught in Bed-Stuy as well, and Flatbush. Cool, great to have you here. Thank you, Lady P. And the funny thing is, I've never had anyone get me so riled up that I wanted to leave the faith, but I definitely have left a couple of churches in the past. And even now, sometimes, some churches stay away from me because we'll talk and they'll start telling me what I can and cannot do. And I'll tell them, keep the honorarium. I won't come and speak. Oh, yeah, that's a... Thank you. I appreciate it. 534. Ooh. Yeah, they ran me up out of there. We couldn't get along, me and the principal. That's all I'll say about that. I don't want to speak negative about anybody. But it was a great experience. I actually loved my time at 534. I really did. I really enjoyed my time at 534. I had a good time. And then I finished up my last year over in Flatbush before I left New York. But I had some great interactions with kids at 534. One of my favorites, actually, once I came from Harlem. Okay, so Lady P said me. Let me tell you something. I have seen folks literally give up on church because of the behaviors of others. And it saddens me because There's nothing that anybody can show me in the faith where we're supposed to be trying to push people out. Actually, we're supposed to be trying to find ways to bring people in. But the number of saints who feel they have a monopoly on the faith itself is scary. And the number of church folks who feel that they are not wrong is scary. Because then I always say to myself, how is a person supposed to find help if y'all are gatekeeping and guarding the doors? No one can make me walk away from God. You was a good person there. It wasn't you. It was that. I'm glad you said it. I'm going to leave that right there because, yes, time will always reveal everything. And I never worry about, I was in my 24 years teaching for the New York City Department of Education, I was at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was at 6 different schools over a 27, actually. 7 schools over a 24-year period. And I spent, 8, because I spent 2 years at a private school in Manhattan. She was out there no more. She's there. She's not there no more. The school is a whole new setup now. Yeah, I'm sure. And it's funny because when I look at the number of principals that I worked under, none of them are still in position. But the Lord had me. It was time for me to leave the city. So, and the funny thing is, I just came back to Canarsie a couple of months back when my son and his lady had their baby shower, and it was funny being back home in Canarsie to see how things have changed. But after a couple of hours, I'm ready to come back home. But, I still have a lot of friends and family and former students. And I talk to a lot of them, so they still reach out to me, and I'm still in contact with them. So, I'm always here for them. But, yeah, I had a wonderful time at 534. That was a great 3 years there. We really did some good things. I think it could have been better. And the funny thing was, and only a few people noticed, the principal had to break the rules to get me out of the building because I was a tenured teacher. And I could have fought to come back, but then like the union rep said, do you really want to go back and deal with all that stress? You can go on somewhere else and your money is straight. Everything else is straight. It just felt bad that I had to leave the kids, but that's part of the game, unfortunately, because I noticed that not everybody who claims to love the kids love them. So I don't trip. All right, so let's go on to number 4. This is a good one here. And we're talking about the 10 ways to reclaiming your happiness. And everything that I'm talking about today are ways for you to get back your happiness or to recondition yourself to finding your happiness. Number 1 was engage in reflective practices. Number 2 was to seek professional guidance. Number 3 was to leverage your faith-based healing. And number 4, we're not going to put the numbers in. I'm going to skip the numbers right now, Tina. We're going to keep going. Number 4 was to prioritize your physical well-being. So number 4, prioritize your physical well-being. This is one that a lot of people neglect, which creates unhappiness. I'll get into it in a second. I'm just giving Tina time to write it in the chat. It's prioritize physical well-being is number 4. Okay. What is this right here? Really? Let me find out what is going on here. I had to verify myself in my own chat. Okay, TikTok. I guess what they thought. Somebody snatched my phone. I had to verify myself in their own chat. Yes, prioritize your physical well-being. Regular physical activity, a nutritious diet, and sufficient rest are crucial for mental health. Engaging in exercise can improve your mood and self-esteem. Now, you guys in the chat, how many of you exercise on a regular basis? Some type of exercise. Now, I know I'm going to say something that's going to get some of y'all crazy, but I'm going to tell you in a second. How many of you exercise and how many of you are getting 6 to 9 hours of sleep a day? Put me in the chat. If it's just the exercise, put me in the chat. If it's the 6 to 9 hours, you get both, put me in the chat. Because I notice a lot of people will exercise, but they will not get enough rest. Take your butt to sleep. Me and me. Come on, Tina. And thank you, Miss New York. A lot of people will not take their behind to sleep. I do 4 times. I do 4 times out of the week. I walk. Yes, come on now. Let's go, Miss New York. And some of y'all may not want to hear this because that may not be your jam. But sex, good sex, helps with your physical well-being. Most days I get 6 to 8 plus out. Come on. Yes, you have to add that to your physical well-being. Sex, making love, actually helps with regular activity along with your nutritious diet. Regular and good sex actually helps with a good mental outlook. And I know some people are on imposed celibacy, and that is okay. Nothing wrong with that. I know some folks is like, nope, I'm on hiatus right now, Keith. I get it. Or if you with somebody and having bad sex, I get it. I'm tap dancing with that one, but I gotta put it there. I have it on my notes. Be easy with this one. But yes, because when making love, your body gives off pheromones and other substances that allow you to relax and actually helps put you on a good position, put you in a good position. I say, I got to be careful. Put you in a good state. I'm talking about position. I know I'm going to hear it later. And this actually helps with happiness. It can also cause unhappiness if you got a bad partner, but that is a different story for a different day. I can't help you with that. Mommy, I need to hurry up. Then come on, God needs to come on. Yeah. And trust me, things will be better when he sends them. You will find that it does make for limited happiness, but can also increase the focus towards the overall happiness and can increase the overall happiness when you have all the other pieces in place. Regular lovemaking is a fantastic way in a relationship. And again, if you're not and you're just doing you're an adult, you can do whatever. But yes, when you're in a committed relationship, lovemaking actually enhances the happiness as well. But everybody's situation is different, and I'm not telling you to run out here and go give it to nobody or to get. I'm just saying. All right, so we're going to, actually, I think I'm going to move on. So, and I'm not even going to ask any questions. You see, I'm not even going to open up the floor. I'm not even going to ask the chat anything. Y'all good? Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. So, but we're adults, so y'all understand. And here's another one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stay here for a second. Regular physical activity, nutritious media. How many of you are eating right? How many people right now in the chat are currently eating out more or maybe more processed food than they should? Put me in the chat. And again, I don't want to shame you and I don't want you to feel bad. But how many of us are maybe indulging in foods that we shouldn't more often than we should? Put me in the chat if that is you. Put it in the chat. If you maybe are purchasing 90% healthy, okay, got you, Tina. I love it. Yeah, I love cooking. You guys have seen some of the videos. My wife wanted me to make shrimp and crab dip. I just made a baked chicken last night in a Dutch oven, and I found at a very high temperature, at about 20 minutes per pound, you can really get a crispy chicken. So if you season it and add a little bit of butter under the skin, you ain't really got to go out and buy nothing. I actually have an indoor rotisserie. I just don't have the drip pan. I got to buy a new drip pan. My mom used to have it. I was going to break it out to use it, but I realized I don't have a drip pan. So I got to buy a drip pan. I'd like to see if it works. So I'm going to put a whole chicken in the rotisserie. I meal prep weekly, enjoy it. Listen, okay. Hey, lovely lady locks. But yeah, eating nutritiously helps with regaining happiness because our bodies react to what we put in it. Our bodies react to the foods. And the reason why I was asking about processed foods or eating out often is when we eat out, we're at the hands of the people that's preparing the food. We don't know what they've added. It is better to make your food when you can because you know what's in it and you don't tend to eat as much when you make it yourself. You don't tend to gorge yourself as much. And again, this is another way to help regain your happiness. I have started cooking quite often. It's just a pastime of mine now. My family really enjoys it. My wife joked. She said, I am now cooking Thanksgiving dinner because of actually a bunch of dishes that I've made. I am not cooking for a whole lot of people. That's way too much work. But I'm really enjoying the sweet potato pie, the crab dip, the rasta pasta. I make a bunch of everything. I think the thing that I'm making now or going to make, I got to download the recipe. I want to make bang bang shrimp or dragon shrimp. I got to find a good recipe. I want to make bang bang shrimp, I think it's called, or firecracker shrimp, something like that. But I'll look up some recipes, and I have a whole binder that I keep the recipes in. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And the last thing, and I'm going to leave us alone with the priority of physical well-being. And we talked about lovemaking and sex can help with happiness, right? You also, self-stimulation. Now, I got to be careful with this because we have some righteous folks in here too. And I'm giving you the health. Don't hit me. I don't want my older saints coming at me. Self-stimulation can also help with creating happiness. And y'all should know what self-stimulation is. If you have a rose, fantastic. If you have more, fantastic. Whatever works for you. But self-stimulation, when in the proper mental space, some of you will self-stimulate and then be angry that you have to self-stimulate, that you take the positive and then it automatically is followed with a negative. If that is you, I understand. But again, I'm only telling you from the professional position that self-stimulation is a way to be able to put yourself in a good state of being to continue on route to happiness. Don't neglect that part. But if you're not a person that believes in that, and meditation is good as well. That is on the list as well. These are all physical practices that you can do to move yourself into a position of happiness. Now, I'm not about to ask any questions about self-stimulation. Y'all get it? Yeah. All I know is rose sales went up over the last couple of years since the pandemic started. I'm like, a lot of brothers out here hating the rose. I'm like, y'all missing it. Buy her one. Got you a gift. Here you go. Knock yourself off. I'm going to go ahead and finish watching TV. I keep hearing about that. All right. You keep hearing about the rose or people buying somebody one? Ladies that are here in the group, if you have a rose, please let Tina choose one word that you would describe your rose for Tina. She does not know. I'm a male, so she may not believe me. I mean, I ain't use it on me. I'm just saying. I bought my wife one. Ladies in the chat, please let Tina, if you have a rose, choose an emoji to help Tina know and why she should get one. If you have knowledge of, let's just say that, put it in the chat why Tina should get a rose. Put a rose in. Go ahead. Yes, Lady P, go ahead and DM her. Even better, follow Lady Love. If Tina should get a rose, let's put roses in the chat. If Tina should get a rose, put a rose in the chat. If Tina should get a rose. If you have knowledge of such, put a rose in the chat. If Tina's gonna go out and order a rose. Lady Locke says, the rose last. Let's go. Here we go. Lady Locke said get one. Chocolate Lady said the rose lasts long. Hey. It does though. Fellas, if you get her one, be careful. Don't let her get started. She'll be done before you get there. It's safe to say. It will bless you. So I'll take that. Yes, she should get one. Chocolate Lady said get one. One thing it doesn't speak after you finish is, hey, wait a minute. One thing it doesn't speak, you can't talk, guys? Oh, Lord. See, I told you, it's safe. You know what? Y'all ain't right. Hold on, Miss New York. It doesn't speak afterwards. This is what we want now? We don't want no conversation afterwards? We can't hold you and say, that was pretty good. I would ask you what setting, but no, we're going to leave that alone. It's about 12. Actually, Miss T, I'm gonna be quiet. You'll find out on your own. Yeah, the rose is a keeper. I ain't even gonna lie. It was one of the best gifts. My wife was like, my wife loved it. My daughter seen it out one day and said, my wife said, she said, is that a massager? My wife's like, yeah. I was like, see, you about to get in trouble. I saw a video where a kid was playing one and got stuck to his forehead. I was like, why you even got that out for him to be playing with it? He got stuck to his forehead. He was crying. I blame the parents. Why is that even out? Got my daughter walking around thinking it's a massager. It's a massager. You and your mom can talk about it. You too young. Go on about your business. All right. I've been deprived. Tina, we'll have a whole, you'll come back and tell us one day when you get yours. You'll come in and give us thumbs up or thumbs down. It'll probably be 1,000 thumbs, but you'll... Yeah, I think you've been depriving yourself, Tina. You got to go ahead and help yourself out. That's another thing, guys. Please do not be scared to explore things that you may enjoy, because that will put you on the road to happiness too. Remember, the theme of today's show is ways to reclaim your happiness. Well, trying new things is a way to reclaim your happiness, because you need to see what pathways are out there for you. And self-stimulation is a fantastic way. Now, I know some of my church folks has an issue with that. And I am a former health teacher, so I have to be honest. Self-stimulation is a great way to relax. And if you add that to nutritious meals, if you add that to meditation, if you add that to exercising and other things like that, you're going to be in a good spot. Hold on, let me turn my phone off here. I hear it ringing. Where is it at? Oh, no. Come on now. All right. It'll just ring itself out. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, there we go. It'll just go to voicemail. All right, so you guys ready for number 5? While Tina is on Amazon looking for or going to the Rose website. Y'all ready for number 5? Put 10 fives in the chat. Let's get 6 fives in the chat. Let's go half of what we got today. Keep tapping the screen for the hearts. The church people doing it today. Yeah, that's true. I can honestly tell you that is 100% right, Miss New York. They talk to me in private, and church folks are doing the same thing secular folks do. They're just not being as honest about it. I know, because I created mental health ministries in churches, and I have folks who come to me who are referred to me from the pastors, and they're suffering from some of the same things secular folks are suffering from. They just don't feel as comfortable being able to talk about it. So they come to me to have that conversation, because I don't judge. I have no reason to judge. I don't judge because people are going to be people. My job is to help you figure out what's causing you pain. So you are 100% right. So let's get 6 fives. Come on. Let's get 6 fives. Let's go on to number 5. We're at the halfway point today. Come on. All right. On the 10 ways to reclaim your happiness. Put them in the chat. Follow Tina's lead. Thank you, Jen. Come on. Put your 5s in the chat. And I think one of the things that's missing in church too is more conversations. And I presented. I was invited to come speak at a men's ministry 2 weeks ago. And it was interesting, the number of men who felt uncomfortable sharing around other men. So my job was to try to get them to open up to have that conversation. And I'm here for that, because we're humans and we need to be able to converse with each other about the things that prevent us from being happy. And the Lord wants us happy. I just think folks are so unsure. And that's another reason why you should be reading for yourself and then fellowshipping. But that's just me. All right, let me get a couple more 5s. We're good to go. I got 1 5 from Miss Tina, 1 from Miss Jen. Let's get a couple more 5s. We're going to go on to the number 5 way to reclaim your happiness. And this is a good one as well. This is, let's see. So number 5, embrace community support. Embrace community support. Number 5, embrace community support. And if you hear me say it a couple of times, it's just to give Tina a chance to put it in the chat for you guys. So I don't want you to say, why you keep saying it? Because I'm giving Tina a chance to put it. Because I normally send Tina the list ahead of time. I was sloughing off today. Surround yourself with supportive community. Whether it's through your faith, local groups, or online, social connections can provide encouraging and sense of belonging. One of the ways that you can reclaim your happiness is by building your communities to where you all have like-mindedness. This is one of the great ways that social media can help you, is that if you have a positive outlook and you kind of know what you're looking for or would like to learn some new things, social media is fantastic in this aspect here. Thank you for the hearts. Keep tapping the screen. This is where we can really latch on to new things. This is why I do what I do every Friday here, is to be able to present to people maybe something that they didn't think about. Because to reclaim your happiness, you got to clear the clutter in here. Being around other people in your circles can help with that. Especially like now, you just heard Tina talk about the roses, not to go back to that. But she asked a question and we in this community said, yes, go check that out. That is another way that you can help each other, because you can say, you should go see this movie. Hey, I traveled to that resort. I saw that show. That can help you create new pathways to happiness, especially if you've been in a bad or negative relationship. Because sometimes you're still dealing with the connections that you had to the person that you were with, that you just don't know what the new things are. You just haven't been out here, or you just, like some people, like some of the people I counsel are returning to dating. And it's like, well, how do I date when I've been married for so long? And like, what does that look like? What's popular? What's not popular? And again, I deal with older folks. So my job is to try to help them maneuver these pathways, man. Especially, hey, Richard, what's going on? Especially if you've been in a marriage for 20 plus years and now you got to go back out here and try to figure out what it is. That's not easy for anybody, man. And in some cases, I've had people who was in relationships for 30 years. Well, let's just stop and think for a second. Let's go 30 years, right? So if you go back to the late 90s, and you're now going back out to date in 2024, do you understand the difference? MTV was a thing. We were watching DVDs and CDs, and some folks were still listening to cassette tapes in the 90s. To go back out now in 2024 and then try to maneuver these streets when there's been sharks or other folks out there doing this for a while, it's tough. So we have to be able to create communities where a person, like Tina just said, I was so lost. This is where we as a community can help each other. That's why I let folks know at the beginning, this is a safe space. If I catch anybody in here doing anybody dirty, they gone. And if I find out behind the scenes, you hitting up somebody's inbox trying to be nasty, you are blocked. Because a safe space is where you can be you and feel comfortable when you're here. Anybody that's gotten blocked is because they went a little too far. You always get the initial off. You can say whatever. It's just if what you're saying don't make no sense, you got to go. And all of you should have supportive circles that you can rely on the information that's coming from. So let me ask you guys that in the chat. How many of you right now have multiple circles for multiple parts of your being? Whether it's a fitness circle, social media, literary circles. How many of you have multiple circles, which might have some of the same people, but how many of you have multiple circles that you are a member of that work for you? Come on. How many of you? Put me in the chat if you have multiple circles that you're a part of that work for you. Put me in the chat. Thank you so much for the roses. Jen, you do not. Okay. So in your free time, Jen, are you looking for circles, or are you just content on just backing away from them? Because what works for you? Miss New York, not you. Okay, what is your social, Miss Jen and Miss New York, what does your social media circles look like when you spend your time on social media? Because one of the things that you can focus on if you do not have circles, think about the things that make you happy or how you're regaining your happiness. Look for folks who are talking about those things. Put yourself in those rooms. People are weird. Yes, they are. But you're meeting me, and I'm not weird. And one of the things that you can do is social media provides you the luxury of moving slow, Jen. There's nothing wrong. You just stole it. I was just about to say that. You can actually observe until you get a feel if that's somewhere that you want to then allow yourself to be seen. And that's okay. Take your time. This is no rush. But you're actually already on it. Because I was just about to say the good thing about social media is you can literally observe until you decide if you want to make yourself known. We can sit and play in the shadows, and I do it on a lot of people's lives. I do not go into the live. I will sit in the shadows and watch and listen. And if I want to engage, then I may now make myself visible and then even ask to come into the box to have a conversation. I be on some vibes that talk on these. I got you. And that's important. I'm just saying, and also publicly, whatever you might be into, if it's books, I was just talking to somebody who's working at a library. So if you have the opportunity to go to a library, cool. If you have the opportunity to go to open festivals, things that are safe, things that are public, to just be able to experience new things. But there's the one thing about social media, there's a lot out there that we could be a part of if we allow ourselves to. Okay, so if you don't have those circles, and again, like number 5, I want you to embrace community support, but you cannot do that if you're not out and allowing the community to be connected to you. And it's important because overall that helps you with your happiness too, because people will bring their experiences to the table, which gives you different insights and things. Like I'm supposed to be taking a cruise next year. Yeah, I think it's next year. But I'm still not sure, and I'm trying to get people to convince me of why I should go. Now, I'm just not sure if I want to be out on the water. Now, I love to travel. I'm just not sure if I want to get on a cruise. So between now and whenever I'm supposed to go, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. And everybody hits me too much. See, y'all with me. I'm in my right element right now, because that's how. Like, I want to just go to the resort where I'm good for the next 6-7 days. I'll figure it out. I'm good. But the whole idea of being out on water. But my wife went this past August. She had a wonderful time, and the whole time she kept hitting me up. Was like, "You would really like this. You would really like this." I was like, "I don't know," but we talked about it. But I may do it just to see. But that's, it's funny. I thought about all that, but I was like, my wife said I would enjoy it, so I said I'm gonna try it at least once. I'm going to keep an open mind. But I have traveled so much that I actually prefer the whole resort, but I cannot say that I'm not going to like it if I've never actually tried it. So I think it's on me to try it and see what happens. So that's what I said. I'm going to see what happens and go from there. And it is a whole water thing for me too. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's the whole idea of just being out on water. But I hear so many good things that I said, I trust the people around me. I'm going to go at least once, because that's another thing too. You need to at least experience some of these things at least once. Because again, the goal is to try to reclaim happiness or even find a new pathway to happiness. Sometimes you got to try new things, new foods, new pathways, new everything, and then have a conversation. All right? Okay. So, how many? Now, I saw a couple said they didn't have communities. Those of you that have communities, what are some of the communities that you have? Put it in the chat. What are some of the communities that you have? If you have communities, put it in the chat, because I got a bunch of different communities that I'm a part of, whether it's talking sports, whether it's talking counseling, whether it's talking marriage, whether it's talking children, whether it's talking teaching. I'm also an author, so I'm in author circles. I pop in and out of a lot of places to try to offer something. I enjoy this, but have to go back to work. Okay, JD, the replay will be over on YouTube. So if you want to finish up the rest of the list, it'll be listed on the YouTube replay along with the list of the 10 things. So you can catch it there. I appreciate you here. Hopefully we'll see you next Friday. Enjoy your weekend as well. Okay? So definitely something to consider, guys. So, Tina, you have others? Okay. Yeah, I have a few circles, and I try to make myself available. I used to be the alienated one. I used to be the one off to the side. I used to be the one that just didn't want to. And I realized I had to stop that, because life is too short. Also, people benefit when I share and I benefited when they shared. So I stopped being so antisocial. I used to be the most social, antisocial guy. Like I would go to parties and all that. I'm the life of a party. But I found that once the pandemic hit, I got too comfortable with not wanting to be around people. And I had to change that. That's something that the pandemic stole from me. I just didn't want to be around people. And sometimes if there's too many in the crowd, I start to look a little funny, especially with the fact you got folks sneezing and coughing a little bit more than they need to. So I know I'm a little leery right now, but I'm getting back to it. All right. Keep tapping the screen, guys. It may be weird, but I don't have company. No, I'm like, you know what's funny is? I very rarely let a lot of people come to my house. I'll go and be out at places. I don't want a lot of people in my house anymore, especially after this whole pandemic started. I know my son is coming down. I've had family come for the holiday, my brother-in-law and his lady and their 2 children. I don't want a lot of people in the house. And I was never one for that. My wife and I used to host Super Bowl parties on a regular up in New York, but those were totally different times years ago. But in the last 3 years, nah. I kind of want home to be home base where I can come and just get out of the nastiness and we're good from there. So it's not weird. I'm with you, Tina. All right. So now moving on to number 6. Now this one right here is a big problem for a lot of people. So I want to make sure I settle this right. Let me turn this music down just a little bit because this one is important. And I talk about this one in my book. Yes, I'm that way as well. I'm a semi-germaphobe as well. Even my daughter, when she comes in from school, I'm like, get out of those clothes. Go put them in the hamper and change your clothes. And I got that from my grandmother. My grandmother being a nurse, my mother being a nurse, they used to come in and they was like, don't even touch me. She couldn't wait to get out of her clothes because she didn't want to bring anything from the nursing home back home. I don't have a lot either. Not everyone's spirit. Yeah, listen, that's another big one. I learned that from my grandmother. She was like, you don't let everybody in your house. And stop letting strangers in when you don't know their spiritual positioning. I didn't understand what she was saying when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I understand exactly what she's saying. And I think if you pay attention to a lot of the stories on social media, you'll see that a lot of people maybe should have not let somebody into their lives, into their homes. And as my grandmother said, you can't get mad if you invite the devil in and he tear your house up. And so I understood it and I respect it. I know exactly what she was saying. I'm that way too. And I try to teach kids that too. You pull on the devil's tail, he might turn around. You don't want that smoke. All right. So number 6, right? Let's go to number 6. Let me get 5 6s in the chat. And this one is going to be important. So I'm going to want you to circle this one because this one seems to be an issue with a lot of people. So let's get 5 6s in the chat. And then I'm going to go on to number 6. Thank you, Lady P. Thank you, Tina, as always. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate you. Thank you, Chocolate. Let's get one more 6 in the chat. I'm going to go on to number 6 because this one is important. And again, I try to push the more important ones to the bottom just to finish off the list the right way. Okay, got enough. So number 6, set boundaries. Sounds simple, but I'm going to get into it in a second. Set boundaries. If you're going to reclaim your happiness, if you're going to move to a position of happiness, you must set boundaries. Learning to say no and setting healthy boundaries with others can help you protect your emotional well-being. It allows you to prioritize your needs and fosters relationships that are mainly respectful, that mutually respectful and supportive. When I tell you it is important that the people around you understand your boundaries and you understand your boundaries, you will not get to a position of consistent happiness if you don't have boundaries. People will want to absorb from you what they can, what they will, and whatever you will give them. As you see with the Risa Tisa situation, she said, I blew through the red flags. She didn't set the boundaries, and all of a sudden now you got this foolish energy in your life, in your house, and in your body. Your boundaries are critical. Your spiritual boundaries, sexual boundaries, physical boundaries, mental and emotional Boundaries. Mental is the way that you think. Emotional is the way that you feel. Require boundaries. Did they earn the right to be in your house? Did they earn the right for you to have all this emotion? Did they earn the right to be in your bed? Did they earn the right for you to sit here and have all this treble inside your head and heart about them? Did they earn that? Because if they didn't, you're going to position yourself to be opposite happiness. Now I'm going to ask a big question here. Who struggled or struggles with setting boundaries? Put me in the chat. Put me in the chat if you have or currently do struggle with boundaries. Thank you, Chocolate. I know a lot of people do because I go through this a lot in my counseling sessions. Unfortunately, me, I got you, Lady P. I got you, Richard. And Richard, I'm so glad you're here because this is not a gender thing. Men and women struggle with setting boundaries. There are people who are taking advantage of people because some people will not say no. And they go out of their way to try to please somebody else and never pleasing themselves. Can't do that. Shortest, how do you set boundaries when there were never any boundaries? Oh, great question. Hold on a second. Let me turn that down. That's a great question. JT, start with the word no. Shortest complete sentence in the English language. Start with the word no. Hey, JT, could you take me? No. Hey, JT, could you give me? No. Hey, JT, it would be great if you and I... No. Why? I don't want to. Why? I don't enjoy that. Why? I don't really like you like that. No triggers the boundary. No drops the gate down. And if I now want to, if I choose to explain to you why the gate came down, that is on me. But no triggers the boundary. Please write that on your list or wherever if you're keeping notes. In creating boundaries, you must know what the boundaries are for. I used to, but as you get older, my patience is shorter with my friends and family. That should make the no come even quicker. As we get older, the no should come even quicker because we have a greater understanding of what will work and what does not work for us. That's why when kids come and they whining and complaining, you go, oh my God, listen, you're 14, you're 18, you're 20, you're 6, you're 9, you're 22. You understand how many times your life is going to change? But when you're 45, when you're 50, 55, when you're 60, that no should be like a weapon. Hey, do you think, no, you ain't even let me finish. No, it sounds like you about to ask me for something. Nope. It's your choice, JT. Great question. Your choice. If the person rates a response. Significant other? Yes, you're giving a response. Somebody at work? No. I said no. That's your explanation. What do you mean no? I don't want to do it. There's your explanation. I don't need to expand on anything lest I choose to. My no stands on business, as the kids say. Sounding so old, but I am. I don't have to explain my no unless I choose to. So to your question, if you choose to explain your no, okay. But we're not going to get into no debate. And we're not going to go no back and forth. Could you? Same thing. Yeah, but why? Same thing. Yeah, but that don't make no sense. To you, makes sense to me. I'm not. I don't feel old. Now, I take that back. Sometimes my knees let me know I'm 56. But I don't let my knees stop me from doing anything. But yeah, your no stands on its own. Also remember, it is no comment. It is not someone else's job to make you happy. It is for you to know what makes you happy and then allow someone to assist you in either sustaining your happiness, adding to your happiness, or giving a new pathway to your happiness. But it's not for them to make you happy. Please understand that. And the boundaries that you set help that. I have no problem with telling somebody no. Hey, can I borrow? No, but I know you got it. That has nothing to do with it. I told you no. I don't need to explain my no's, and often I do not. I don't need the back and forth. I told you no. Yo, that's messed up. It might be to you. I'm sorry. Because often the reason why somebody wants to get into a debate or wants a detailed explanation is because they're looking for holes to punch into your no. They're looking for holes in the boundaries so they can try to move the boundary where they benefit. That's why when I hear people say they ran past red flags, I automatically know it was because you were looking at something else that you wanted. So you were willing to close your eyes to the red flags because you were getting something or you thought you were going to get something that you wanted. And that is a problem. And normally that comes with pain. When we run by red flags, we are setting ourselves up to hurt. When you move your boundaries, if you're not doing it for selfish reasons, you are setting yourself up to be hurt. And if you're doing it for selfish reasons, you're setting yourself up. Because why did you set that original boundary to begin with? And trust me, I was a smooth operator. Keep going back and forth with me. I will slowly convince you that your boundary doesn't work for us. Translation, that doesn't work for me, but I now have to convince you that yes to me is what is going to work. Physical contact is one of the ways that is invoked. Sex is another way that is invoked. Shame is another way that is invoked. Putting somebody on verbal or physical or sexual punishment is another way that works. And when done effectively, you can cause a person to feel badly about the very boundary that they put in place to protect themselves. And then what do? They lower it down and let the devil in. Why is there boundaries when it wasn't a boundary? No way to answer that question. You'd have to tell me the situation. Each couple, each person is different. You'd have to explain to me why you didn't put up a boundary at the beginning based on what are we talking about. So what I mean by that is if you say, Keith, I've never had a boundary when it came to people I dated. Well, we got to go back to, were you ever taught how to define your relationships? If you go, I never had a boundary at work when it came to my bosses. So I always would just say yes. Then we got to look at what your home situation was before you even got into that. Either way, it still comes down to what you feel is going to work for you. And I would say go back to number 2. Seek professional guidance. This is where I come in as a counselor. When you sit with me, I'm going to go into your past for information, not emotion. And we're going to bring forward enough information for you to figure out how you got to where you are. And now let's reshape that. Let's reshape your current path, because the path that you took to get to me is not the path you want to continue on. That's why every list that I give, they're all interconnected. They're not standalones. They're all connected. If you do a little bit of all of them, you will slowly see yourself moving towards being happy. But a boundary, and that's for every aspect of life. I don't care who does not like my boundaries. That's just so mean, if that's how you take it. How could you be like that? Easy. Watch this. No. Oh, you evil. They thought Jesus was evil too, didn't they? I don't stress how somebody else takes what I put in place to protect me. I'm not giving you that. If I give that away, I've given everything away. You protect yourself with your boundaries. You protect your happiness with your boundaries. You protect your future. You protect your present with boundaries. You protect your body with boundaries. You protect your finances with boundaries. But your boundaries have to be clearly connected to you and the outcomes that you want in your life. Because if not, you'll be all over the place and lost. And we don't want that. Okay? Did I answer your question, JT? We good? I want to make sure before I move on. Because another one, these are some of the more important ones. Like I said, I always save the more important ones for the end. You guys ready for number 7? Follow Tina's lead. Let's get 7 sevens in the chat before we go on to number 7. Because number 7 is a big one as well. Let's get 7 sevens in the chat. Come on. Thank you, Secret. Thank you, Nora. Thanks, Rich. And y'all keep tapping that screen. Y'all got real lazy today. It must be cold. It must be a almost spring thing. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Chocolate. Thank you, lovely Lady Locks. I think that's 7. I think it's more than 7. All right, here's another big one. Another big one. And this is where I come in to help. Yeah, it's a lazy Friday today. I don't know. It must be the cold weather. It must be that in between end of winter, early spring thing. It's okay. Y'all going to tap the screen. We're not even at 10,000 likes. Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to circle this one here and say, I don't know. I don't think happiness didn't do it for them. All right. Number 7, develop coping strategies. Number 7 on the 10 ways to reclaim your happiness, develop coping strategies. I'll get into that in a second. I'm just giving Tina a chance to write it in the chat. Keep tapping the screen, guys. I appreciate you. Develop coping strategies. Work with a counselor to develop coping mechanisms for handling stress and negative situations. Techniques can include mindfulness, which is staying in the moment. I'll get into that in a second. Breathing exercises or cognitive behavior strategies. Now, let's break that down. Mindfulness means staying in the moment. You're not worried about tomorrow. You're not worried about what happened yesterday. What are you supposed to be doing right here, right now? Many of us would really benefit and find happiness if we could just stay in the moment. But Keith, you don't understand. My girlfriend used to treat me so badly. Okay, but y'all are not together today. So what are you going to do about yourself today? I don't know, but she used to care. She used to pick out all my clothes. You're a grown man. What do you want to do today, bro? How do we fix that today? Let's focus on today. How about you go pick out a shirt that you like today? But she knew all my favorite colors. How did she learn that? She got it from you, right? So you're the source. So you can find new colors. Let's go. Mindfulness thinking is staying in the moment. You're not worried about what was. You're not worried about what will be. You are worried about taking care of what you're supposed to be doing right now. One of the best questions you can ask yourself to stay in a mindfulness position is, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Honest questions to yourself. What I got to get done right now? Okay, let me do that. Where am I supposed to be going right now? Oh, you know what? I was supposed to be over at that party. Let me go. Keep tapping the screen. Appreciate you. Mindfulness, staying in the moment. Breathing exercises. Many of you suffer from anxiety. What am I supposed to be doing right now? Come on, Monique. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Breathing exercises. Your boss got on your nerves. You ready to go in there and lose the whole gig. I'm about to choke this BI. Breathe. Now, let me show you what quality breathing is. Shut your mouths, everybody. Ready? Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. Breathe out through your mouth. Come on with me now. Breathe in through your nose. Deep. Feel it in your chest. Out through your mouth. But I want you to think slower thoughts. One more time. Ready? Now, if you want to count, fine. But I want you to even close your eyes. Just breathe in through your nose. One, you cannot take in as much air when you breathe through your nose. So it takes you longer to fill up your diaphragm. And then when you breathe out, you want to get all that negative air out. Because you do not want to go in there and risk it all because somebody called you a name and you're about to lose your job. If you do not believe this works, I will prove it to you. Ladies in the chat. Sorry, Richard, I know it's 2024, but us brothers, we still have not been able to figure out how to have babies yet. Ladies in the chat, was there anyone in the chat who practiced Lamaze? If you practiced Lamaze, put me in the chat. When you had your children or child or whenever, if you practice Lamaze, thank you, Tina, put me in the chat. Thank you, Secret. Lamaze is breathing designed to help you go through the birthing process. So breathing does work. When you're dealing with your significant other, you're dealing with somebody at work, you're dealing with somebody on the street, breathe. Give you, yeah, Richard. Times have changed, but ain't changed like that yet. I'm just saying. If men started having babies, boy, would things change. Brothers would not act the way that they act. I have been in that delivery room. I ain't having no baby. I don't even want to look down south. He's like, Daddy, you don't, no, I'm going to stay right up here. If I go down there and see that stuff all stretched out, I'm not going to want no more. I'm good. I'm going to stay up north. I'm going to stay right up here near her shoulder. You go on, do what y'all going to do down there. You don't know. Okay, wait. Okay, you good? No, it's okay. Lamaze, I practice Lamaze too. It is breathing. I don't want to see nothing though. Nope. I'm not going down there. I don't want to see a C-section. I don't want to see nothing. Hand them to me after you are done. My husband's like, oh, no. You can't get rid of that. No. Listen, I'm a health teacher, so I had to watch the videos. When you see the videos when they come out, you go, I'm good. I don't want no more. And something with the video is one thing. Hey, Queen V. With the video is one thing. It's another thing when you actually, oh, no, I didn't want to see it. I'm good. I'll stay right up here. Go ahead, cut. Whatever you're going to cut, do what you got to do. Hand the child to me. I'm good. You need to see it so you can really understand. No. I understand what y'all go through. I project. I'm good. I don't need to see certain things. Like, I don't never had to put a hypo in my arm to know I don't want to be no drug addict. Some things I don't need to see. I got you. I've seen all the videos. And remember, I had to see the videos because I used to have to show kids. Something about my own stuff? No. I'm good. I will stay up north and hold a hand. Let's pray together, baby. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see no amniotic fluid. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see no pancreas. I mean, the placenta, excuse me. The pancreas ain't supposed to be coming out. Her placenta, excuse me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the scraping of the placenta. Doc, do what the insurance is paying you to do. I'm going to stay up here and pray. I just want to hear the child crying. We good. Y'all go right ahead. I don't want to see none of that. Yes, and I know there's some folks, it's natural. They love it. I got you. I'm not mad at you. I am actually proud that you was able to stay. And if you was there catching, you my hero. When the doctor said, when me and Tiff, when the doctor said, Daddy, you don't know. So I created a boundary. No. Nope. No. Go ahead. Do your job, Doc. I trust you. You're a professional like me. Go ahead. I ain't want to see all that. I ain't want to see. I'm good. I'm a very visual person. I see all that. Nah. Y'all change my. Anyway. Y'all mess around, change my whole life up. Be like, nah, honey, nope. Can't get none. Nope. I threw up when I saw my grandson being born. I got you. I'm just saying, see, so you understand. The other thing with breathing, hold on, is cognitive behavior strategies. Okay. Positive self-talk is a cognitive behavior strategy. How many of you, I want you to be honest with me, suffer from poor self-talk. How many of you talk yourself into a negative position? I'm not going to get into a bunch of the cognitive behavior strategies, but I'm just going to give that one. We talk about self-talk. How many of you in the chat struggle with negative self-talk? Thank you, Tina. Literally blow things up inside your head. Sometimes make it worse inside. Thank you, Queen V. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Tanya. And I get it. And this is where one of the strategies that you could use is make it a habit. Literally speak to yourself that you will not do yourself dirty emotionally. Do not speak about yourself negative. I'm going to tell you why. When I'm bowling and I mess up, I go, Keith, you stupid. My daughter heard me, right? She said, Daddy, come here. How do we stop it? Okay, great question, Monique. By practicing positive self-talk, meaning in situations, girl, come on, you got this. Whew, yeah, we messed up. Honesty, too. Yeah, we messed that up, but we got this. Listen, we're good. Whew, how we let him get away with that? That's not happening in the future. Acknowledgement and then encouragement, Monique. Acknowledgement, that was so stupid. Encouragement, but we got this. Yo, next time, he paying the bill from the, I'm not even going to bring my credit card next time. I'm good. Also, don't lock in on the negative. Don't beat yourself to death with the negative long after it's happened. And for some people, here we are 12, 15, 20 years later, like, yeah, I remember when I went on my high school date and he's probably out doing whatever. We're going to stop this today. That was 20 years ago. What are we doing today? Go back to the mindfulness. See, mindfulness, breathing, and new thinking are all connected. If I can stay in a moment and I can breathe to calm myself down and I can speak positivity, or as my church folks say, speak life into a situation, which you can do. So when the Bible talks about this life and death in the tongue, it is. Because if I tell myself I'm stupid and I tell myself I'm not stupid, well, if two people are doing that, they're both right. The person telling themselves that they are stupid, yes, will become stupid. The person who tells themselves that they're not stupid will search for ways to become smarter. Whatever you tell yourself is what you're going to become. Whatever you allow yourself to be able to believe, you will become. So the reason why sometimes people think I'm borderline arrogant is because of my confidence. That wasn't always the case when I was younger. I had to grow into this. And yes, sometimes I'm borderline arrogant. Okay. But my confidence is what creates that. I don't just project. I used to project my arrogance. Now I don't. My confidence is what it is. But it's acceptance and then what we say to ourselves. We have to. Thank you, Secret. All right, here we go. So you have to develop. And when I say develop, it's not going to happen overnight, guys. Let me just say that. And again, go back to number 2. Go back to number 4, prioritize physical well-being. Go back to number 5, embrace community supports. Go back to number 1, engage in reflective practices. All these are connected. So if you want to figure out how you're going to change these things to become happiness, mindfulness, breathing, and cognitive behavior strategies. Monique, cognitive behavior strategies. And you can look them up because there's a bunch. But the one I like to help get people started is positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. Because it's the easiest. It's easier for me to simply say, Keith, you got this, bro. Come on, settle down. And when I'm bowling, I have to do that because I'm bowling for money. I don't have the opportunity to mess up too often because I can mess up and not win. So one of the things I am teaching my daughter to do is to and we hear people say, get out your own head. Well, get out your own head just simply means change the way that you are thinking. You cannot get out your own head, of course, but you must change the positioning of your thoughts. One of the things that I do when people go, I got trust issues, I stop them. I said, no, you have issues with the way you trusted people before today. If I'm bringing those trust feelings forward, that means I'm not trusting people before I even had a chance to meet them. I've had issues with the way people have treated me when I trusted them. So please understand why my boundaries are so firm. I'm still saying the same thing, but differently. Because be careful how we project our past pain, which then can prevent other people from wanting to even bother with us, which then causes the very thing that we didn't want, which is to be alone and all the other foolishness. So it's all connected. If we change the way we speak to and about ourselves, we can change our outlook. And then if I'm breathing and I'm calm and I'm staying in the moment, I'm on my way to happiness. You're also waiting out to slap it up. Cognitive, I actually changed that, Monique, to cognitive behavior strategies. I just choose self-talk. Cognitive behavioral strategies, because you can look them up. There's more. But I choose self-talk. I want to make sure I got it right. Okay? So if you do a Google search for cognitive behavioral strategies, you'll see a bunch come up. You can choose whichever one works for you. I choose self-talk because it's easier, especially in counseling sessions. It's easier for me to show somebody how to speak positive about themselves. But there's others. And I don't want to turn this into a counseling session. I want to do that. But I'm just saying, so there's a way to do that. Okay? All right. So now that was number 7. Let's go on to number 8. This is another one that I think is important. You may not. But let's see, we got 16 people here. Let's go half. Let me get 8 8s. Come on. Let me get 8 8s in the chat. Follow Tina's lead. Going back to work. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. See you next week. Oh, no. Next week I'll be... Yeah, I'll be on next week because I'll be in Virginia. I'll be in Virginia next week, but I'll be at the hotel. So I'll probably film from the hotel because I think I'm going down Thursday night. So I'll be in Virginia next Friday. I'll be in for the weekend because I got a bowl. But check out the replay. Thank you so much, Miss New York. Thank you so much. Hug the kitties for me. Tell them Mr. B said what's up. All right, so we got the 8s. Here's another one, guys. Explore personal interests. Number 8 on the 10 ways to reclaim happiness is to explore personal interests. Explore personal interests. Exactly. Explore personal interests. Many of us have stopped thinking about the things that we're interested in. Many of us have been so locked into our kids, our boyfriend, our girlfriend, our husband, our wives, that we have stopped thinking about self. They grown now. It's okay. Tell them Mr. B said what's up. You can still hug them for me. They not too old to get hugs. My kids the same age. I hug them. Let's go. You tell them Mr. B said what's up. If they need me, reach out. But explore personal interests. Too many of us have put our interests on hold for everybody else. It's in my bio, Monique. All my information is in my bio, love. Just click on the Linktree link and all my professional links will be there for you. Everything, okay? Just click on my bio. And my Linktree link will have how to get in touch with me, my books, everything. But number 8, explore personal interests. Too many people put their personal interests on hold. They put themselves second, third, fifth, last. Sometimes they don't even consider themselves. You cannot regain happiness if you're not thinking about your personal interests. Now I'm going to ask the chat. How many of you, be honest with me, have not explored your personal interests and just kind of went with the flow, whatever everybody else was doing, what your husband or wife was doing, what your kids wanted? Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Tanya. We got to change that, guys. And I understand we're trying to be good, did a long time ago. I got you, Tina. Many of us want to be the good girlfriend, the good wife, the good husband, the good boyfriend, the good brother, the good father, the good son, the good daughter, all of that. It can't override your own personal interests, and you got to explore your personal interests. There's a whole world out here, and there's nothing wrong with you taking some time for you. Go back to number 6. If you have a struggle with that, set a boundary. Hey, I'm not going to be here this week to nobody. Where you going? Wherever the hell I want to go. See me in a week. That's how I lost myself in my 30-year marriage. It was about him and the kids. Okay. I got you, Tina. I see you, Tanya. It's important. Sometimes you got to set the boundary and explore your interests and don't give anybody nothing. Say, check this out, even your job. I'm leaving on Monday, I'll be back next Monday. Where you going? I'm leaving on Monday, I'll be back on Monday. Your kids go, Mom, leaving on Monday, I'll be back on Monday. Husband, leaving on Monday, be back on Monday. And if you want to go get a Stella Got a Groove Back session, do you. If you just want to go sit in a hotel down the block from your house and just whatever works for you, if that's what you're personally into, rock out. Because you cannot find happiness if you do not put your personal interests forward. Keep tapping that screen. We way behind on likes today. I'm telling you, it's the weather. It's this in-between late winter, spring thing. Let's go. Y'all tap that screen. Come on. We've never struggled to get to 20K. I don't think we're going to make 25 today, guys. Don't look like it. But okay. We're going to keep going. We're going to take what we can get and keep it going. It's always a first time. Always a first time. But it's okay. I will go back and watch the video and see what can be done better. All right. So in the chat, when you've neglected your personal interests, right? How did it make you feel? When you realize that you just didn't do the things you wanted to do? How do we not allow what people say to affect us? Great question, Monique. That is a tough one because it goes to the emotions that you're assigning to what someone said. Personally, I simply go, if that's your feelings, okay. I'm not going to let what someone says to me. Also, it's who's saying it. So that's the better question. If it's somebody that really cares about you and they say something that's super dirty, super negative, you may have to just eat that, feel bad for an instant. Mom, okay, that's what if it's mom, here's what you do. See where it's coming from in terms of what she's saying. If she's saying something real disrespectful and you know you're not that, then you have to remove your feelings from her being your mom and understand and say, no, Mom, I'm not that. I'm not going to accept that. Go back to your boundaries. Go back to number 6. Your new boundaries may include Mom on the other side of that. Remember, family does not have the right to destroy you emotionally or physically because they're family. Parents do not have the right to do you dirty because they're your parents. No. And you have the right, if you have to, cut a parent off. I have no problem cutting family off. And when my mom didn't want me to move from New York to Delaware because that was going to inconvenience her, Ma, I love you, but I'm going. She came up with every excuse about why I shouldn't move. No, you give me an excuse why you don't want me to move because you want me here to help you. No, I got to take care of my family. You either going to rock with it or not. You're welcome. Be firm on your decisions about you, even when dealing with parents, especially if you're grown. Your well-being is paramount. Talk about it, Jen. Come on. And let me go back, because I saw sad and I saw crushed. I didn't ignore that, Tanya and Tina. Yes, when you don't do for you, you blow up any happiness that was inside you. You blow up any opportunity for happiness inside you when you don't take care of you. And the thing that you do not want, hear me, everybody in this chat, you don't want to get to the end of the line. In those last couple breaths, realize I didn't do nothing for myself. Because that time is coming for all of us. How is that with a family or spouse? Same thing. I'm not allowing family or my spouse to put me in a position. I did that once when I was married the first time. And that was the biggest mistake that I made, was that I didn't speak up to things that I had a problem with. One of the things I had decided for myself when I got out of my first marriage, when I got divorced, and in this marriage here, I'm not doing that. So Tiff and I don't do that. Something's wrong, I deal with it. Something I don't like, I say it. And if it's just going to be a disagreement, it's going to be a disagreement. I'm not taking in BS just to take it because people think you're supposed to. No, you're not a punching bag. Mental, physical. You're not a mental punching bag. You're not an emotional punching bag. And you're not a physical punching bag. And this is, again, go back to number 6. Go back to number 7. And if need be, go back to number 2. Seek personal guidance. This is where you might need family counseling. You might need personal counseling, whatever it might be. But there's always a way to get some help if need be. All right, here we go. Last two, and I would gladly answer any questions that you have. I got a little time today before my counseling session. And keep tapping that screen. We're going to get to 20K today, at least. So let me get, we got 15 people here. Let me get 9 nines. Let's do that. Let's get 9 nines. I need some New Jack Swing here. Folks is tired today. I see it. It's something about the weather, I guess. It's the weather around the country. Thank you. Thank you, JT. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Chocolate. Okay. Number 9 is practice gratitude. Number 9, practice gratitude. Number 9, practice gratitude. Of the 10 ways to reclaim your happiness. Thank you, Tina. Cultivate a habit of acknowledging and appreciating the good in your life. Keeping a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal is where you just sit down and you only write in the journal things that you are grateful for. Or share what you have been thankful of with others can enhance your perception and overall happiness. A gratitude journal is no negative. You only write in there things that are cool, things that work for you, things that you're grateful for. But you must give gratitude. Like when people go, this is wrong, that is wrong. I'm like, but you're breathing, but you're working, but you're healthy. Yeah, but no, not no yeah, but. There's somebody, and right now, for everybody in the chat, myself included, there's somebody in a hospital in the world that would gladly change places with you with all the problems that you have. They would, what I got to do? I got to go out and off 25 people to get her life? Yes. To get his life? Yes. They literally would do anything for your life with all the problems that you say you have. And many of us miss that because we're so stuck in our negativity that we don't realize that there's somebody out there who just would love to be us, even at the low level that we think that we're at. There's some rich people that you think that are well off that would love to have your life as is because of the one that they have. So practicing gratitude is a way for you to help reclaim your happiness. When we can become gracious with ourselves and become gratified with ourselves and literally say to ourselves, I just love where I'm at in certain aspects, even if you're not completely happy, but you're breathing or you're working or you're healthy. There's always something that you can find to give grace to that you go, whew, I'm glad I got that. Even if things are not where you want them to be. Thank you for sharing, Monique. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Tanya. And you got to understand that because that you don't have to force that. And I know sometimes it's real easy to look over things and be like, nah, Keith, you don't understand. Things are just really messed up right now. Yes, things may not be where you want them to be, but there's still somebody else worse off than you, and you got to dig in and go, cool, so I'm going to fight my way back and go back through this list and find the things that's necessary for you to be happy. And the last one will help with that as well. Now, I got to ask you, all right, here we go. How many of you right now, come on, tell me the truth. How many of you right now suffer with gratitude? No problem, Netta. It'll be over on the replay on YouTube. How many of you suffer with giving gratitude to where you are because it's just something you can't see? I see you, Monique. Who else suffers from just being able to give gratitude to their life as is right now? Who struggle with that? And again, this goes back to number 7 when we talk about mindfulness or cognitive behavior. It's challenging. Yes, it is, Tanya. And this is why I said when I talked about the cognitive behavior strategy. I got you, Netta. This is why I said I work on positive self-talk. Often we talk ourselves into an even worse situation. I got you, Monique. I live with clinical depression. I got you, Tanya. And with that, you make sure you follow all of the orders of your doctor. If you're taking medication, make sure you take your medication. And then make sure that you're adding things to yourself to help trigger happiness in you, Tanya. If you've been clinically diagnosed, that's different than a lot of folks who just claim it. Then what you do is you make sure that you take your medication, follow the orders that your doctor and psychologist, if you have one, is giving you, and then make sure that you're adding things to your life that you enjoy, even if they're small things. A gratitude journal would be great for you, Tanya. Just writing down good things. Nothing, no negatives can go in there. Date it and say, hey, I had a great day today. Date it and say, hey, I found a restaurant that really served good beef patties today. Whatever it is. Hey, I found a restaurant that really made some great oxtails. Whatever it is, the gratitude is, I'm really happy I was able to get that. Whatever it is, but no negativity. What if you don't want to take any medication? That's a choice too, and there's nothing wrong with that. I respect folks who say they don't want to take medication. Then you have to make sure that you're balancing it out and you just put it with something natural. Now, I don't know the natural parts. That's a tough one because when it comes to depression, natural is tough when it comes to depression, but there are holistic ways. I would make sure that I do my research and also make sure that they're not claims. Make sure that you're looking to see if there's people who have used it, who have actually given to the success, and if you can contact them. And anybody that offers you any type of holistic anything, they should also offer you a list of references of people that have used or done it their way that can help you. Like on my website, there are a place for people to put how my sessions have been. Also, I have testimonials from organizations like the ATF and Delaware School District and the New York Department of Board of Education. I have things that let folks know. That's why I showed people the Ebony article, is that I let folks know. I have receipts to what I'm talking about. I know exactly, and I have been counted on, and I have been featured. So it's not me just making stuff up. And it's important that if you're going to go a holistic way, I just started taking a medication. I wasn't too happy with it first, but then I said, you know what? Okay, I did some research. All right, I'll mess with it. I'm not a big fan of medication, but you have to be careful because sometimes we say, I'm not taking no medication. Well, what's the balance? Because if your doctor says you need something and you know you need something, well, you want to be careful with that. So again, gratitude is a form of really finding the positive when you don't think there's any there. And I know it can be difficult, but just take your time with that. Again, this list is designed to interconnect. So you ready for the last one as we close in on 2:00? All right. If you're ready for the last one, let's get 10 tens. We got 18 people here. We're almost at 20K likes. Cool. At this point, it's going to be what it's going to be. I will go back and watch the replay and see how I can enhance this. Thank you for the 10. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Netta. Let's get 7 more 10s. You want to get off on your own? You want to get girl. I did notice that I was playing 2000s music there. I might have to go back to the 70s and 80s. I'm not sure. I don't know. 70s and 80s seem to move people a little bit more. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you so much, Chocolate. Thank you, Shell. Thank you, JT. All right, so the last one, and this one is important. Embrace personal. I'm done with morning patience, so I'm tapping like crazy. Let's go, Lady P. Number 10, embrace personal growth. This one is important. Embrace personal growth. Some of you will refuse. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Tina. I jumped ahead of you. Some of you refuse to give yourself credit for the growth that you have done. View challenges as opportunities for growth. Seek out educational resources, workshops, seminars that can help you develop new skills, improve self-awareness, increase your confidence. Embrace things that's going to make you a stronger you. What book have you read lately? What workshop have you gone to? What conference have you been to? What are some of your circles? What are y'all doing in your circles? Remember, when we talk about embracing community supports, number 5, what did it lead you to? So let's put that in the chat. Put a list of the books that your most recent book that you read. Put it in the chat if you know the title and author. Put it in the chat. Right now, I'm reading Jada Pinkett's book. I'm also reading, what's the name of it? Let me bring it up. I'll give you mine. And I only listen to audiobooks, so a lot of times I'm listening to 2 or 3 books at the same time when I am driving. So right now I'm listening to 151 Strategies for Small Business Success and Government Contracting. I'm reading Worthy by Jada Pinkett Smith. And I am reading, where's the other one? I think it's Black Mental Health. Where's it at? I'll tell you. I want to make sure I give you the name. Yeah, the Unapologetic Guide to Mental Health, Black Mental Health. Navigate an unequal system, learn tools for emotional wellness, and get the help you deserve. So, Unapologetic Guide to Mental Health. I'm reading. Thank you. Thank you for reading my book. Thank you. Way to Walk by Gary Thomas. Thank you. Thank you, Lady P, for reading my book. A book about Sarah Vaughan. Thank you. Just started Worthy, first page. Yeah, I'm listening to the audio. Where are you reading this book from? Which book are you talking about, Monique? Which one are you talking about, Monique? Because a couple of people here have purchased my book, 12 Steps to Recovering from a Toxic Relationship, which, where's it at? That would be this one here. Oh, the books I call it? Oh, these are my audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks. I write books, but I love to listen to audiobooks because it allows me to do more. So, but I have written books, physical books. I'm actually debating on how I can actually create the audiobooks. So this is my most recent book, 12 Steps to Recover from a Toxic Relationship. This is the one that Tina and Lady P are talking about. I mentioned earlier my memoir, From Gigolo to Jesus. That's this one here. And I have written fictional stories too. Lukewarm Saint, actually very good. So, and I have another self-help book, Our Bond is Our Guide, an interpersonal look at relationships. So I've been trying to write and help folks for a minute. Oh boy. So yeah. But you should have something, and again, things that are going to help you grow. I am always reading something. I definitely read a lot of articles online. I'm always trying to better myself because I'm not comfortable with staying in one position. I always want to know something new because it allows me to help people. And it's one of the reasons why I have to be careful how long I stay on social media, because sometimes staying on social media, you can get caught up and going down rabbit holes. And I try not to. I just try to make sure I better myself in whatever way. But embracing personal growth. So again, thank you for putting the books out. And if anybody's interested in my books, the link is in my bio. Just click on the link. Both of my websites are there. And before you ask, yes, my books are on Amazon. But remember, guys, if you can, buy an author's book from their website, because Jeff Bezos takes 55% off the top. So authors lose money when you buy it from Amazon. The author loses money. Jeff Bezos makes a ton of money because he takes 55% off the top. Most people don't know that. But if you ask any independent author, they will tell you that they have to pay 55%. And it's a 60-40 split when you do business with bookstores. The bookstore gets 60, you get 40. So that is the 10. I'm going to go back over the list of 10 things in a second, in case you missed anything. And again, thank you for tapping the screen. We're almost at 20. Let's go. All right. A late flow of the hearts. Here we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So let's go over the 10 ways to reclaim your happiness. I'm going to go back over the list, and then I will gladly answer any questions that you have. I'll have a couple of minutes after before I get ready to prepare for my counseling session. So again, just go back over your list. Number 1, engage in reflective practices. Number 2, seek professional guidance. I lift weights, have arthritis. Yeah, I have arthritis in my knees, so I actually have to go get cortisone injections on Monday, or it'd be very difficult for me to bowl 3 days in a row next week in Virginia. I got them both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm going to get some cortisone injections in my knees on Monday. And then when I go to the Nationals in July, I'll probably get the gel shots again. That will help take away some of the pain, but it is what it is, especially if I got to be there for 10 days. So number 1 is engage in reflective practices. 2, seek professional guidance. 3, leverage faith-based health if you are a person of a spiritual positioning. Number 4, prioritize physical well-being. Number 5, embrace community support. Number 6, it's all right, though. You can. Hey, we made it to 20K. You did it, Tina. Rest your finger, love. We made it to 20K. Thank you so much. Number 5, embrace community support. Number 6, most important, set boundaries. Number 7, develop coping strategies. Number 8, explore personal interests. Number 9, practice gratitude. And number 10, embrace personal growth. You have a good weekend as well. Thank you so much. Hopefully we can do it again next week. I'll be at the hotel in Virginia, so I should be, and I'll be open up to listen to any subject matters that y'all have. If there's anything that you would like me to cover, I'm always open to listen. Just shoot it in my inbox. Say, hey, Keith, I think this would make a great subject, and I'll add it to my list. So I gave you the 10. So I'm here for any questions. I got about 10 minutes. I got you a little bit more. But if you have any questions, I'll gladly answer it. So again, fire away any questions that you have. I'll gladly answer them for you. Actually, before anybody goes, hold on. Before everybody leaves, please put purple hearts in the chat for Tina. She does a tremendous job as a moderator. She helps me to do what I do. Before you guys break out, please put purple hearts in the chat as a way to say thank you to Tina for doing the great job that she does. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Lady P. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Kim. There we go. Thank you, guys. Remember, always, hey, thank you, Luscious Lady Love. Remember, always give the people who help you their flowers now. Don't wait till they're not here. Thank the people who support you. Thank the people who help you to do better at being you. Even if it's on a minute level, thank them. Thank them. We can't do anything worth doing in this world alone. You can't. You're welcome, Tina. I appreciate you. I sent you an email too, Tina, by the way. Have a wonderful weekend. Okay, you two have a great weekend. So if no one has any questions, I'm going to get ready to go, but I'll wait a few minutes. If you have some questions, I'll gladly answer them. Does anybody have any questions connected to today's conversation? I'm such a big kid. I'm eating Fig Newtons. Well, not Fig Newtons. It's a fig bar. It's a blueberry fig bar. Speak now, if ever hold your peace. There you go, DJ. That's it. I'm going to get ready to close out. I just want to give anybody has any questions, I'll gladly ask. If anybody has any questions, now's the time. Come on. I got you. I will gladly answer your question for you. You know what? Yeah, I should be able to get it in today, but I got a bowl tonight. So if I don't get it in early, it'll definitely be in later on tonight when I come in. It will be up on my YouTube page, so you can definitely check it out, along with the list. The last 8 or 9 shows, 10 shows, last 8 or 9, 10 weeks, I've made sure to include the list inside the description so people can have that, so they don't have to watch the whole show to write it down. They can just copy it directly from the description. So I thank you, Lady P. And I thank you for your support as well. And thank you for the purchase of my book. I appreciate you. What you see. Yeah, I finished Kevin Hart's Monsters and How to Tame Them. It wasn't a bad book, but It was like listening to a Kevin Hart comedy show. I just think at times he was ad-libbing way too much. I was like, can we just get to the information? It wasn't a bad book, but at times he was kind of yelling and screaming at times when he was doing the book. Some people might like that, but I'm like, if I want to see a comedy special, I watch that. I wanted to read the book or listen to the book, but it wasn't bad. He brought up some things that is pretty good. Monsters and How to Tame Them by Kevin Hart. And he actually talked about one of the monsters is the You Can't Go Back monster. And he talked about a lot of us convince ourselves that we can't go back to a lower level because we believe we're stuck at the higher level. So like if you were playing cards for $5 and somehow you ended up playing cards for like $500 a hand, you actually can't go back, or you believe you can't go back to playing for $5 because you won't have the same fun. And he realized that many of us have to shake that monster and allow ourselves to be able to go back to levels that we were okay at. And that's true. And I remember working out. I was on a treadmill listening to him talk. And it was a great point. And he actually talks about some of the other monsters that you deal with in life is actually pretty good. Okay, guys. Well, there seems to be no questions. I'm going to get ready to go. I got to get ready for my counseling session. I want to tell you thank you to everybody. Thank you, Lady P. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Netta. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, JT. Thank you, lovely Lady Locks, as always. Thank you, Kimberly. Monique, I think I got you. Chocolate, thank you. Miss New Yorker was here. Thank you. I appreciate you. Miss V, Queen V was here. Thank you. Let me see. Tanya, got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for all those that liked and shared. Kimberly, if I missed you, thank you. I think I got most everybody was here. Netta. I forgot Nita. I forgot Miss Nita. Thank you. And then Miss Nina, got her as well. Thank you. Brother Rich, thank you. Nora, thank you. Secret, thank you. I'll make sure I got everybody. JT, I think I said thank you, but I didn't. Thank you to JT as well. I think I got everybody. I think that's everyone. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you liked it. You too. You all have a wonderful weekend as well. I appreciate it. Like I said, next Friday I'll be chiming in from the hotel in Virginia, so I should be able to go on. Unless for any reason I can't, I'll let you guys know. I normally post the night before to let you know what we're going over. But if you have any subject topics that you want, reach out to me. Just let me know, hey, I think this would be great, and we're good to go. All right? All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. God bless. We made it to 20K. Take care.